everyone, this is Debbie and Jonathan, and we want to talk about anger today because one of our friends has showed up a few times on social media feeling angry, and so we reached out to him and said, "Are you all right?" And he said, "Thank you for reaching out. I was just meditating. You brought me comfort." And so I shared with him a few things that I thought might be beneficial to other people as well. So on Saturday, I woke up feeling angry, just antsy, angry, impatient. And one of the things that I do if I feel like kind of in a loop about a feeling is if I realize that I'm in the loop, I realize that I'm not able to be authentic with the present moment because I'm in a loop. So one of my favorite go-tos is a book called Letting Go by David Hawkins. David Hawkins rocks the house. And so he's the guy who wrote Power versus Force. And so I'll go to his book on Kindle. And it's important. I do it on Kindle so I can do a search. And I searched for the word impatience because I was feeling really impatient on Saturday, halfway through the day. And I thought it was going to land me in the chapter on pride because I do the search so I can see what's going on underneath or what I'm really feeling or get another label for it to help me process through it. And impatient. Jonathan, are you ever impatient? Yes, especially when I want chocolate. So impatience landed me in the chapter on anger. And I was like, oh man, I felt looping. And I was working with a friend that day, and I said, I'm feeling the B word today. And she's like, no problem. And so then we were eating soup at the end of the day, and that's when the sadness hit me. And I felt so sad for all of the people who've died or dying on the front lines and the healthcare workers. And I don't do sadness very easily. Sadness kind of as a New Yorker, as a tough girl. I was born in New York. I only lived there for 3 years, but New York stayed inside of me. New York, Miami, sadness does not just show up. And so for me, it was hidden under a lot of anger and impatience. And when I felt the sadness, I was like, oh my God, and then I also know about the power of ritual and that the sadness wasn't just going to go away by me saying, oh, I feel sad now, so now it's going to just disappear. So I decided to light a candle on behalf of everyone who died. And that's a ritual that I learned from my background, which is Jewish. That's what you do. You light candles every night. And so I lit a candle. And then that night I decided to watch Mr. Rogers. I love Mr. Rogers. The Mr. Rogers movie with Tom Hanks. And it turned out to be all about anger and sadness and death. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that night, Jonathan woke me up at about 2:15 saying, I want to do a TikTok. And so we did a TikTok video at 2:15 in the morning. He woke me up out of a deep sleep. And he wouldn't let me go back to sleep until I turned the lights on and did a TikTok with him. And it was so crazy. And that night, I just slept so good. I just slept so good. And I usually sleep deep. So I don't have a problem usually with waking up and stuff like that, except for when he woke me up. But since Sunday morning, I have felt more peace in my soul, and I'm not feeling the B word anymore. And I think as a culture, we don't do very well with sadness. We don't process it directly. And I think there's a lot of shame around it. Like we're not supposed to feel sad. We're supposed to be tough or something. I don't know. But anyway, Jonathan wanted to be in the video too. Jonathan says, thank you. Jonathan wants to thank you for being here, because you know what Jonathan wants more than anything else in the world? Ever since he showed up in my life, I want friends. That's all Jonathan wants. Jonathan just wants friend. And so Jonathan is really excited, and I'm really excited too that you're here. And thank you for being here. And I hope you're doing well. If there's something that you need, please reach out. If there's something that you're feeling, please reach out. I think if we process our feelings together, yay, we'll get through it easier if we process them directly rather than indirectly. Thank you, everybody.